back to the special show, Ratan's Legacy. Turning to you, Geeta, let's look at some of his biggest decisions like Chorus, Jaguar Land Rover, or for that matter, the Nano. Do you think that some of the failures can be attributed to his no going back attitude?
No, I don't think that he is that kind of person at all. I think you have to understand the time it takes for great decisions to actually be played out. There's something called self-fulfilling prophecies. Nano, I know others will say that that's been a mistake, but has it really played out yet? Now let's see if his successor does continue it, and I'm sure there will be success.
Turning to you, Dr. Irani, two of his biggest deals, Jaguar Land Rover, turn out to be a huge success, while Chorus failed due to the global meltdown. How will history judge these two mega deals for the Tatas?
JLR will be looked upon as a runaway success without any hesitation. The price was right, the timing was right, and the technology which we absorbed into Tata Motors in India also was also obviously very appropriate. So JLR has been a runaway success. Unfortunately, as far as Chorus is concerned, the timing was not right, and maybe we paid a little bit too much for that company. Immediately after we bought it, the steel cycle changed, and the company is still, shall we say, Chorus is not out of the woods yet.
Now to you, Mr. Bajaj. When Ratan Tata took over as Tata Group chairman in 1991, his authority was challenged by JRD's close associates like Rusi Modi. Would you say that Cyrus Mistry could face similar challenges from Ratan Tata's close associates?
As you said, in time when Ratan took over, there were people like Darbari Seth and Rusi Modi, forget the others, and they were people of their own kind. And then don't forget, JRD passed away pretty soon. Today, touch wood, Ratan is very much there and will be there for the next 5, 10, 20 years. Where is the question of anyone doing anything against Cyrus?
Point taken. What's your take, Mr. Nayak? Do you think things are much better for Cyrus now?
In case of JRD, he depended heavily on the people who created from inception, like Modi, right, in Tata Nagar, that means Jamshedpur, Mr. Sheth, Darbari Seth for Tata Chemicals, who created the whole of Tata Chemicals. And they were the closest advisor to JRD. While at that stage, Mr. Ratan Tata was running Nalco. But he was very much in the team. And people perhaps knew also that eventually he will be the successor. But the fact that the kind of, let's say, kingdom of their own that they were running, right, the transformation of the group, which was required to be done, which Ratan Tata initiated, there was resistance. Today, Tata's group has become very open. It was not so when he took over. And today, therefore, for Cyrus to manage the group from the point of view of getting the cooperation of all the CEOs in the group, or for that matter, any other stakeholder, is not going to be as difficult as Ratan Tata had when he took over.
I need to bring in Harsh here. You have known Cyrus for a very long time. In fact, you've worked with him closely as well. What are the positives that Cyrus brings in as the chairman of the Tata Group?
Recently, when we served on a board together, he was never somebody who was extremely forceful, but when he had a point of view, he was very emphatic about it. He spoke only when it was necessary. He had a sharp intellect, and I'm sure he's going to do great things for the Tata Group.
Turning to you, Dr. Irani, let's look at some of his biggest challenges. Was Singur the most difficult phase of his career?
It is one of the most difficult phases. I think if I had to single out Singur, that was one case where I think we were caught between two political parties, the leftists and the Trinamool Congress, and it was a political fight between those two, and we got caught in between. And it was definitely a disappointment, and an expensive disappointment too. But there too, he maintained his principles. He would not operate in an area where his officers and his workers, there was a threat on their safety.
Dr. Irani, we are talking about Singur here. Given his passion for cars, do you think Tata Motors as a company got the maximum share of his time?
I think you were quite right, that was his number one interest. Just like Mr. J.R.D. Tata was interested in aviation and had made Air India his favorite company, so to speak, Ratan Tata, who was interested in automobiles, is still interested in automobiles, naturally paid his maximum attention to automobiles, which is Tata Motors.
Mr. Bajaj, you studied with Ratan Tata at Cathedral School. Any memories from those days?
We were in Cathedral, at that time known as Cathedral and John Connon Boys School in Mumbai. I still remember, on Outram Road in the Fort area. And we were not great friends or something. We were just in the same class, just one class of 32 boys. So we saw each other. And I can't say anything about him from that time except that and this also I remember very faintly, very sober, quiet student or person. And I think, if I may only say that, he remains a very mature, sober gentleman even today.
Very sober gentleman indeed. One question to you, Mr. Naik. Has Ratan Tata been an inspiration for you?
I would say Ratan Tata can be considered for me to be one of the, let's say, one who you can look up to. I would say look up to. I have never been in close touch with him. I have only kind of seen him from a distance, observed him, read about him, and everything that looks to me to be his great achievement, which will appeal to anyone. In fact, it has touched me to be more global. You know, like Larsen Toubro is still not very global. And it has therefore to an extent inspired me. Why can't we be like Tata Group?
Mr. Naik, moving a bit away from Ratan Tata, what do you feel are the biggest challenges for Cyrus Mistry? Do you think it's too big a shoe for him?
Replacing Mr. Ratan Tata is, in any case, for anyone, is not an easy job. Ratan Tata is going at the pinnacle of Tata Group's achievement. To keep up that growth momentum for anyone is difficult.
It's not going to be easy. Dr. Irani, what's your take? How big a challenge is it for Cyrus?
I think everyone doubted Ratan Tata's ability to step into J.R.D. Tata's shoes. And I'm sure J.R.D. Tata, when he was, decades ago, appointed chairman, the people must have doubted his ability to step into the shoes of Sir Dorab Tata. That always happens when a change takes place. And I am quite sure that the thoroughness and the detail with which Cyrus has now addressed himself to the problems which are there or problems or situations which are there in the Tata House, he will also stamp his name independently like the others have done before him.
We are completely running out of time. Just before we wind up this special show, let me ask this to you, Geeta. If you were to write a book on Ratan Tata, what is it that you would like to highlight?
Ratan Tata has exploded a myth that has made many men totally miserable. And the myth is this, that you need to work for your duty, for your children, for your legacy. Here's a man who has no children. He loves his work. And a book which kind of explores what he's done in that context would make a lot of people happy.
Geeta, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on this very special show on Tata's legacy. But before we wrap up, one can surely say that Ratan Tata may have had his share of failures, but it will not be easy to find another Tata like him. And as he walks into the sunset, it will be years before India Inc. finds someone of that eminence. We leave on this note wishing Ratan Tata all the very best.